Let me tell you, sometimes life flips on a dime when you least expect it. And that Tuesday night at Wilson Manufacturing, that soaked, gritty, no good evening, well, that was the one that tore the whole script of my life to pieces and started something I never could have planned for, not in a million years. You know how you walk out after 16 years on a job, just hoping the rain lets up by the time you hit the lot, and then the universe throws you a curveball, so wild you don't know if you should duck or catch it. That happened to me. And if I'd just walked away that night, none of what I'm about to say would have happened, but sometimes you just gotta move, you know what I mean? So, here's what went down. The end of my shift was minutes away. One more box ticked. Another night survived when I heard the crash, metal on concrete, sharp and ugly, echoing through the parking lot. My body moved before my mind. Dee just ran, right out into that cold rain like I had no sense at all, straight to the car, smashed against the barrier. Steam, glass, the whole scene looking like something out of nightmare. I could barely see the woman behind the wheel, head slumped, blood running down her face, but instinct took over, years of fixing broken things, I guess. I pulled her upright, steadied her neck, kept her talking, or tried to. She kept drifting, mumbling about her phone, but I just kept my voice steady, told her help was coming, that she'd be okay. By the time the ambulance loaded her up, my clothes were drenched through, and my hands shook so bad I nearly dropped her busted phone when the paramedic handed it to me. They told me I probably saved her life. All I remember is thinking how small she looked on that stretcher, how fragile. And then just like that, she was gone, swept away in a flurry of blue lights and sirens. And I was left alone with the rain, the adrenaline leaking out of me like the gas from her car. You'd think that'd be enough drama for one night, right? But nah, fate wasn't done. Next morning, I show up for work-soaked shoes, sore everything, pride in my gut like a stone, only to be called into the office. Howard Mills, my boss, the kind of guy who'd fire his own shadow if it stood still too long, is waiting with a stone-faced HR rep. Turns out, leaving my post, even to help a dying woman, violated company policy. Liability concerns, they said, like that meant anything to someone with medical bills and a daughter with college dreams. They handed me a pink slip and 2 weeks' pay, and that was it. 16 years. Gone in a blink, replaced by a cardboard box full of memories and a family photo with edges curled from years of locker door slams. I walked out feeling twice my age. My car sat in the same spot as last night, but everything else felt different, wrong. When I got home, Sarah, me kid, sharp as a tack, more grown than 15, should ever have to be, just hugged me and said, "We'll figure it out, Dad." And as I stare at the rain sliding down the kitchen window, I found that business card I'd scooped up at the crash site, white with the name Catherine Shun, CEO, Global Innovation Corporation, smudged but legible. Just a name, right? Or maybe a turning point. I couldn't know then. That afternoon, sitting in my backyard, rehearsing how I'd tell Sarah her college plans might have to wait, the quiet was shattered by a thumping in the sky. 3 helicopters, black as sin, swooping down like something out of spy flick. The neighborhood poured out, filming, whispering. The lead chopper landed on my lawn, and out stepped the same woman I'd pulled from that Tesla Accept. Now, she wore a suit, and the kind of confidence you only see in people who run things for a living. She thanked me, explained who she was, and before I could process any of it, her assistant was holding out an employment contract, head of global outreach, full package benefits, education fund for Sarah. I just stared, wondering when I'd wake up. You know that feeling when everything you've built turns to ash, but then, out of nowhere, you get handed a new blueprint and the tools to start again? That was me. We moved fast first to Global Innovations headquarters, a glass tower full of gadgets and hope, people solving problems I didn't know existed. Catherine showed me how they operated, what they built, the schools and clinics and clean water systems stretching from Africa to the Andes. But they needed someone who saw the world not just as problems to fix, but as people to help, someone who understood that the small stuff matters, that compassion is part of the job description. Turns out, that was me, even if I didn't believe it at first. Now life shifted gears. Instead of oil stains and broken conveyors, I was flying helicopters into mountain villages, installing solar panels in Nepal, dodging monsoon storms in the Philippines, teaching local teams how to keep the lights on, not just for a day, but for a generation. And yeah, There were challenges, storms, setbacks, pushback from competitors who saw humanitarian work as just another business opportunity. Once, we nearly lost a whole housing development to a typhoon, but the changes I made on the fly, drawing on years of patchwork fixes and midnight repairs, held strong. And when the sun rose, those families still had homes. Through all of this, Sarah became more than my reason why she became my partner. Using her own knack for machines to help develop drone systems for early warning, troubleshoot blueprints, and later lead her own youth teams, sparking innovation in places most people only see on the news. Every time I worried she was growing up too fast, she'd prove me wrong, reminding me, quietly, that what we were doing mattered, not just for us, but for everyone whose path we crossed. There was a twist, though. You always expect trouble from the outside, but sometimes it comes from within. Our biggest rival, Verde Sustainable, tried to sink us with a forgery scandal, faking documents and pointing the world's finger at me. I nearly lost everything again, accused on global news of stealing from the very people I'd worked to help. But Sarah, sharp-eyed as ever, dug into the digital signatures, found the cracks, the copied patterns, the connections to my old boss, Mills, now working for the competition. She and a network of young engineers from our projects worldwide flipped the narrative, broadcasting live feeds from every site, letting the people themselves tell the truth about what we'd built together. The world watched as the story turned Sarah at the center, a 15-year-old showing what the next generation could do with the right tools and a little faith. By the time it was over, the Youth Engineering Initiative had gone viral, and the board that once doubted me was asking how we could do more, faster, in more places. MIT offered Sarah a scholarship, but she wanted to spend another year in the field, first learning, teaching, building alongside the same communities we'd helped. You want a hook? How about this? Sometimes the smallest kindness, pulling a stranger from a wreck in the rain, turns out to be the lever that moves your whole world, that makes you part of something bigger than yourself. Sometimes doing the right thing costs you everything you thought you needed, but hands you something you never dare to want. And sometimes, when you think your story's over, you find you're just writing the prologue to someone else's. So yeah, I started as a maintenance guy, just trying to keep the line moving. Now, I watch my daughter teach kids from Kenya to Cambodia how to build better futures, and I get to be a small part of that. The old factory where I lost my job, it's now a school, training the next wave of engineers and dreamers. Margaret, me late wife, would be love that, would have said everything happens for a reason, even the rainy nights. You want to debate right and wrong, justice and community? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about whether compassion has a place in the cold machinery of the world. I believe it does. And if you think otherwise, or if you've seen a story like mine, hit share, leave a comment, because you never know whose world you might change with a small act, a little truth, or the courage to stand in the rain and help someone you don't even know.
Xin chào các bạn, mình là Trinh, mình phụ trách viết content. Trên đây là những công việc của mình, là mình lên mạng xã hội tìm.
Você falou negócio sério. It is cold, yeah. Next one? Alright. Thank you, man. Hey, if you guys have any trouble, let somebody know. Please.
After the tree to hold on to. Yeah.
Yeah, use the fence.